15 laps of Rookies Cup action. The Revs riser away. Who's going to get the drive? Will Marco Morelli do it as he did yesterday? He hasn't got quite a good jump. It's Rico Samela
for his first point here in Rookies Cup.
And Brian Iriarte yesterday's running down in 4th place, just ahead of Moodley. But it's Samela who takes the lead. 95, no plan B. Marco Morelli.
We've seen him riding in his Rookies Cup career. He did tell me he's been working on that with his mentor Aki Io, as we see Morelli goes through, nursed Rico out.
Up and down, up and down. He started off with victory in the first race. There is yesterday's winner, 51. Brian Iriarte there, 4th or 5th place. You're on board now with Brian Iriarte. This is how you do it in Rookies Cup.
And this will be a stonking race here as they come across the line the first time of asking. 95, no plan B, leads the way, does Lightning McQueen.
Yeah, and he's got the 83.
The way pinned through turn 6, Peter.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely. This is the fastest part of the circuit. In fact, it's up to 217 kilometres an hour, 135 miles an hour in sixth before you flick it left here, back to 3rd gear, and then through this right-hander. There's 2 fast sections. That was the quickest, and then the run back to the start and finish.
Arnhem, he's only lost 1 place from where he started on the grid so far. He was in 6th place. This is good stuff from the Italian. He's had a rotten run of luck this season and crossed both Junior GP and here.
Matt.
No, there he goes. Absolutely. I mean, while we've been talking, sort of, you can miss the fact that Morelli, he's off like a scolded cat there. A good few bike lengths back to Iriarte, as you say. He knows.
And Carpe and Co are determined to get back on his tail. Let's see if they can slipstream him down the back straight.
One rider who was really strong yesterday, we've not yet seen the best of here, is Veda Pratama. He is in 8th place, is the Indonesian. For the moment, in 8th place.
He said he missed the gear on that final lap yesterday. That really spoilt his chances of getting on the podium.
Ooh.
And then a bit of skill and a bit of luck, he admitted. Right, you're on looking back now at the 51 of Brian Iriarte. Brilliant stuff. Still with the advantage, it's diminished a little bit, but it's still pretty handy, isn't it?
Yeah, a good few bike lengths, but how much do they close in on him there at Holgerheide, one of the fastest sections of track that we visit on this school almost. You could put him on a 250cc two-stroke and he looked fine. Meanwhile, you got sort of Pedro Acosta-esque from his fellow Mercian, Alvaro Carpe, right behind him, leaning off so far, you could almost get his chin down. Right,
and Salmela and Moodley, Pratama behind them. And it's just stringing out a little bit.
Times in the PDF. Best race lap was actually from last year, Alvaro Carpe, 144.9. I don't think they really touched that in this one. But they're already low 144s, which is not far. Rossi cut across the GT chicane.
So Brian was aware that the pace wasn't that quick yesterday. He certainly managed to go with
the fastest lap. Salmela 143.9. This is why it's being strung out, Peter. They've done their homework overnight. Perhaps the conditions are contributing to this. You're seeing the fastest riders yesterday far more cut. A big group following all around and mucking up their ambitions for race-winning glory. So here they are drilling the pace.
Yeah, and Moodley is at the back of that group.
Why is the pace so hot? Morelli's still in the race. He was the only rider yesterday putting a 144 flat in the race. He was riding near enough all on his own, caught that group after he crashed. Who's up front leading the... He faced me sometimes.
Right. And it's Argentina that leads 1 and 2, Morelli and Peroni.
This is really impressive from all these riders. They have Stegio and Hakim Danish. Can they chase the leaders down? Can they live with that sort of pace? I'm not sure, but tyre wear will be a factor in this race.
Action is a little bit different, and I think somebody pulled a strip off there, off their radiator. You just saw a Dayglow thing wafting around. A tape attached to it that the riders can pull off if they see the engine temperature is rising, and I think that's what one of them did. Didn't see who it was, but in this lead pack somebody did that just a few time.
But actually Salmela, he was second on the grid with the 144.2, so that's a couple of tenths quicker than he even put in qualifying. Goes to show Rookies Cup riders learning all the time. Final point between Guillaume Plong and Sullivan Mounsey. There's that he is leading that 3rd group now then, because you've got positions 1 to 6 in the 1st group, the chasing 24th.
So there is still the leader, and he's pretty much led all the way, hasn't he, Morelli? He really,
that tends to win in Rookies Cup in any given race is the one that wants it the most. I think you're looking at a top 6 of riders who are absolutely chomping at the bit for it.
Who wants it the most out of those guys? Yeah, and just while we're watching these, viewable in America as well, and it's going to more and more countries. So please take a look at the Red Bull Rookies website and see where you can see the Bourne races.
Julian, Brian Ariarte, just at the back of this group then, as we were looking at that replay, something must have happened there, that they've been fallen back somewhat into the pack, off the back of this group I should say. The lap times are starting to come to get a bit slower now, aren't they? A bit of tyre degradation perhaps. They have broken that previous group.
But Moodley and Ariarte aren't a lot slow. Past Rouchet, and he'll have his head down because he knows he can't really let this fall, because these four are not mucking each other up, are they?
No,
they're not being silly about it. That was an issue yesterday. They're all over now. It's Morelli who has the advantage. Carpe, Peroni, Salmella happy enough to follow him more or less.
And I think it says a lot. The last time around, Morelli was actually the fastest. I will love win that race. You got to live with me because I'm going for it from the get.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? So right. So now the time screen says Ariarte they've closed, but only fractionally. Who's setting the pace?
There's only two-time winners so far this year. It's Brian Ariarte, of course, got his second victory of the year yesterday, and Max Quiles, who got a victory in first round. Carpe shaking his head there. I wonder if he's getting a little bit frustrated, perhaps. He's running a little bit wide. He's really trying to catch him up.
I mean, you know,
lumps out of each other, turn to turn, etc., as it can get sometimes. But just what you're witnessing here is just riders absolutely on their limit, taking everything they've learned this season so far, doing a...
Daniel and Pratama have had track limits warnings. A lot more track limits warnings and problems in other races today.
Yeah, exactly that. Suddenly it's more sensible from the rookies than everywhere else. That did decide part of the result in MotoGP earlier on, so you have to watch that as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Just going to take stock of what's happening in the chasing group. You got Leonardo Zanni leading the way there ahead of Carter Thompson and then...
Doing this superbly. I wonder what Carpe and co are learning behind him. You know, because this
is giving the game away.
Well, it's, you know, it is so different to what happened yesterday that he obviously...
As you mentioned at the top of the show, Peter, Brian Ariarte was watching Carpe all race long, figuring out what he was doing through the right and left-handers coming up right now to make sure he outfoxed him onto yet.
Well, that's right, and of course we don't know what gear they're running in, do we? You know, whether they're using the sixth or they're using fifth. As I said, and he's got on the back, hasn't he? Brian has got on the tail of them, to reel in these guys. But now yesterday's winner is with that group. It's just going to be three laps and a few corners to go.
He's on the prowl and he's picked off.
And Morelli's certainly got to do that. I hope he knows that he's got the warning. He's still leading this, and Carpe's not really shown any hint of where he could...
Hey, Carpe, how about that? Is he going to get him back though? No, he's not.
Oh yes, that was absolutely wonderful, wasn't he? Just pulled out at the perfect timing, and Carpe might have got...
We see that's not what it really is at the moment, depending on the race result, but Carpe cannot let his countrymen get any more points on him heading into this second half of the season. We're past the halfway point yesterday
on the Ariarte, and it's just 2 laps remaining of Rookies Cup action.
We still have thousands of fans in the stand around this iconic circuit of Assen, and they're being treated to perhaps what could be one of the races of the day in Rookies Cup. 10-wheelers to finish off the final couple of...
Pada seri keempat kejuaraan balap motor Red Bull Rookies Cup di sirkuit Mugello, Italia yang dihelat Minggu, 2 Juni 2024, Veda Ega tampil cukup mengesankan. Pada race 1, Veda Ega Pratama finish di peringkat kelima dan race 2 finish di posisi ke-8. Atas hasil itu, pebalap asal Gunung Kidul tersebut untuk sementara menempati peringkat 8 di klasemen pembalap dengan koleksi 39 poin. Balapan terakhir di sirkuit Mugello, Italia, ada improve sempat 5 besar dan saya senang dengan hasilnya, ujar Veda Ega Pratama, Selasa, 25 Juni 2024. Kampiun Asia Talent Cup 2023 ini mengakui, meski konsisten berada di 8 besar pada balapan seri ketiga itu, namun sejatinya dia bisa lebih baik lagi. Tapi masih belum maksimal, masih banyak yang perlu dipelajari tentunya dan minggu ini saya juga akan membalap lagi, imbuh Veda Ega Pratama. Pembalap asal Gunung Kidul, Veda Ega Pratama, akan tampil di seri keempat balapan Red Bull MotoGP Heroik Cup 2024. Dia membidik podium perdana di kejuaraan ini. Seri keempat Red Bull MotoGP Heroik Cup 2024 bakal dihelat di sirkuit Assen, Belanda, pada Sabtu, 29 Juni 2024, dan Minggu, 30 Juni 2024. Target ke depan semoga saya bisa podium perdana di Belanda minggu ini. Atau malah bisa nomor 1, ungkap Veda Ega Pratama, Selasa, 25 Juni 2024. Pada seri sebelumnya di sirkuit Mugello, Italia, Veda tampil cukup impresif. Dia finish di peringkat kelima pada race 1 dan finish di peringkat 8 pada race 2. Dengan catatan ini, pembalap berusia 15 tahun itu berada di peringkat ke-8 dengan 39 poin di klasemen sementara Red Bull MotoGP Heroik Cup 2024. Hasil itu lantas menjadi modal bagi Veda tampil di seri keempat di Belanda. Juara Asia Talent Cup 2023 itu berharap bisa konsisten di balapan selanjutnya. Pembalap Indonesia, Veda Ega Pratama terpilih sebagai salah satu peserta Red Bull Heroik Cup 2024. Ia promosi bersama wakil Asia lainnya, Jakre Ebhat Puetisan. Dorna tergerak memberikan akses langsung ke kancah kompetisi Eropa kepada pembalap muda binaan Astra Honda Racing Team itu berkat grafik prestasi yang meningkat. Dalam debutnya, di Idemitsu Asia Talent Cup, Veda berhasil mengumpulkan 3 kemenangan meski dibayangi cedera. Ia pun finish di peringkat ketiga klasemen. Pada edisi berikutnya, pembalap asal Gunung Kidul tersebut tampil lebih garang. Kemenangan telak dicapainya dengan koleksi 256 poin atau unggul 103 dari rival terdekatnya Amon Odaki. Ia memenangi 9 dari 12 putaran dan menggondol mahkota juara ITC 2023. Perolehan poin Veda memecahkan rekor milik Ayumu Sasaki, dengan 203 poin, yang dicetak pada 2015. Pembalap Indonesia Veda Ega Pratama kembali menunjukkan potensinya di ajang Red Bull Heroik Cup 2024. Veda Ega Pratama memiliki peluang untuk memperbaiki posisinya di seri-seri selanjutnya. Veda Ega Pratama merupakan pendatang baru di Red Bull Heroik Cup. Kemampuannya untuk beradaptasi dengan cepat dan bersaing dengan pembalap-pembalap terbaik dunia menunjukkan potensi besar yang dimilikinya. Seri Assen menjadi peluang bagi Veda Ega untuk kembali menunjukkan performa terbaiknya dan meraih podium. Veda memiliki kemampuan dan tekad yang kuat untuk bersaing di papan atas. Meski peluang Veda untuk meraih podium di Assen terbilang cukup berat, bukan berarti hal itu tidak mungkin. Apalagi jika melihat performa Veda di seri-seri sebelumnya. Pembalap muda Indonesia Veda Ega Pratama menilai dirinya kurang beruntung pada seri ketiga Red Bull Heroik Cup 2024 race 1 di sirkuit Mugello, Italia, Sabtu. Ia yang memiliki peluang juara pada balapan kali ini mengatakan, kurang beruntung, setelah tersenggol pembalap lain yang membuatnya melebar dan terlempar ke posisi ke-10 pada tikungan pertama lap terakhir saat ia sedang memimpin balapan untuk meraih kemenangan perdananya. Veda yang tampil impresif selama balapan tak menyerah hingga kemudian posisi kelima ia amankan untuk meraih 11 poin yang merupakan torehan tertingginya sejauh ini. Saya senang dengan balapan hari ini, namun saya kurang beruntung, kata Veda, dilansir dari laman resmi Red Bull Heroik Cup. Di tikungan pertama pada lap terakhir, seseorang menabrak saya dan saya terdorong keluar, namun saya beruntung karena tidak terjatuh, lanjutnya. Saya berusaha keras di lap terakhir itu dan finish di posisi kelima, jadi saya senang dengan itu, tambahnya. Pembalap asal Gunung Kidul, Daerah Istimewa Yogyakarta itu mengatakan setelan motornya masih belum sempurna pada balapan kali ini. Pembalap asal Indonesia, Veda Ega Pratama kembali menunjukkan potensinya di ajang Red Bull Heroik Cup 2024. Pembalap muda Indonesia berhasil menempati posisi ke-8 klasemen sementara dengan total 39 poin. Meski masih tertinggal 71 poin dari pemuncak klasemen, Veda memiliki peluang untuk memperbaiki posisinya di seri-seri selanjutnya. Posisi ke-8 bukanlah hasil yang buruk bagi Veda, mengingat dia merupakan pendatang baru di Red Bull Heroik Cup. Kemampuannya untuk beradaptasi dengan cepat dan bersaing dengan pembalap-pembalap terbaik dunia menunjukkan potensi besar yang dimilikinya. Seri Assen yang akan datang menjadi peluang bagi Veda untuk kembali menunjukkan performa terbaiknya dan bahkan meraih podium. Veda memiliki kemampuan dan tekad yang kuat untuk bersaing di papan atas. Meski peluang Veda untuk meraih podium di Asen terbilang cukup berat, bukan berarti hal itu tidak mungkin. Apalagi jika melihat performa Veda di seri-seri sebelumnya. Pembalap muda Veda Ega Pratama jadi satu-satunya perwakilan pembalap Indonesia yang mengikuti kejuaraan Red Bull Rookies Cup 2024. Pembalap muda Indonesia, Veda Ega Pratama tidak takut bertarung di baris depan. Ia harus cepat adaptasi dengan motor KTM RC 125 yang beda karakter dari Honda NSF 250R yang dipakai di Asia Talent Cup. Hingga race Red Bull Rookies Cup yang telah berlangsung, Veda Ega Pratama berhasil mengumpulkan lebih dari 30 poin. Namun begitu, pembalap kelahiran 23 November 2008 itu masih kalah dari pendahulunya. Dalam 6 race terakhir ada 2 pembalap Indonesia yang jadi perwakilan di Red Bull Rookies Cup. Mereka adalah Mario Suryo Aji dan Fadilah Ardi Aditama. Mario Suryo Aji atau Mario Aji turun pada musim 2020 dan 2021.